Welcome, Wargamers. Join your hosts, Bonko and Monte, two Canadian wargaming enthusiasts, as we explore all aspects of tabletop wargaming. We roll dice, talk tactics, share hobby hacks, and explore new tabletop systems, all on the Trident Wargaming Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Trident Wargaming episode. I'm Andy, and with me is Jason once again.
Yabba dabba doo.
Going good, obviously.
Yep.
Right on. So today's another Bolt Action episode, which is pretty cool. We haven't done one for a little bit here, so we'll jump on that again and try to go over a few things and whatnot, our plans of what we're doing for, I guess, our continuation of our Stalingrad campaign.
Yes.
So if you guys are waiting for that, well, this is kind of our little think tank session on that. And then, of course, we got other stuff going too. But
not a deep tank. Don't worry. It's a shallow pool.
Oh, too good. But yeah, as you know, as always, what's on the hobby table?
My hobby table, sir, is chock full. Getting ready for this battle, I decided I don't want boring old Russian infantry. Since I have the option to take what do you call them? People's militia, peasants with weapons. I want to do that, so I have 36 on the table. I finished 20 like a couple days ago, so I have 16 left.
Nice.
And I want NKVD scaring the crap out of the People's Militia behind them. That I got to paint up, so I got another 20 of those guys on it. Technically 19 because I did a test model. So 20 left, or 19 left to go.
Nice.
And 3 fresh off the factory, with factory worker drivers and operators, T-34s that I have to finish.
Right. That's right. They have. they still got the primer on them.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, it's literally. They primed them. They had like a factory number slapped on them, and they sent them out. Some legit with the crew that was building it hops in and drives it into the battlefield. So that's what I'm gonna have. So
Nice.
I'm working on all that.
Nice.
What about you? What's your hobby table like?
A mess. Right now for Bolt Action, I gotta actually kind of go through and build some transports for this army, the armored camp group. So gotta get a whole bunch of those transports done for the German forces, plus go through I guess like my kind of my blitzkrieg miniatures and whatnot in order to make the forces for this army. Sweet. So yeah, it's just the way the army is, it's slightly different. I gotta take these Panzer Grenadier squads.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have to take them, but it's very fitting to this battle.
Yep.
But anytime I take one of those, they have to have a transport. So the half.
Are you gonna do? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Are you gonna do the half tracks, or are you gonna do just some trucks, some Opals?
I thought about it, but I don't have the models for those. So
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that I have a warehouse full of Hanamags somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, I gotta quickly assemble those and get the airbrush out and get going on them as well.
Nice.
And then yeah, like revisit my Blitzkrieg miniatures, like infantry that I had previously built and got the main colors on, and then kind of go through what I need because I think it is So in these squads, these Panzer Grenadier squads, they can have 2 LMGs. Uh,
Yeah.
the NCO can have an SMG, and then I'm actually able to upgrade 3 other members with SMGs as well.
Oh, geez.
But I don't think I have done that, so it's more of just the light machine guns, which
Yeah.
for Germans it's a lot of firepower having 2 of those in a unit, right?
Yeah. That's big time.
So that plus my new Stug that came in
Ooh,
with the light
nice.
howitzer on it. So that's another kit I got to build. I do have a Pioneer Squad that I got to fancy up to. So it looks like I'm probably going to be buying some more Blitzkrieg Germans
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't think I have enough. But yeah, and then there's I'm essentially making this whole army. The Panzer IV, early war
Oh,
Panzer
yeah.
IV as well, which it is built. Just got to put on some hatches and that kind of stuff, right? So,
Yeah.
but
Nice.
I'm hoping I'll be able to tackle that and at least get the main colors on it, and then continuously work on it. So,
Sweet.
but yeah, there's that, and then there is my winter Germans that I had been continuously working and installed on. I just was able to spray up actually the main colors on the other infantry squad plus machine gun teams, mortar team, and then a couple of observers and stuff like that, spotters. So
Ooh, cool.
yeah, so it's a lot of the same colors that I'll be spraying my other Germans with, and then got to go in there with the brush and
Yeah.
throw on some London gray on the pants and start filling in details, right? So
Detail them all up.
yeah, it's a nice way to kind of do it little by little here and there, especially with like all the pouches and the belts and all that stuff. You
Oh, yeah.
like I usually have a selection of like maybe 10 colors, and it's like, okay, this is a tan, this is a brown, this is a darker brown, this is more of a whatever, right? And once it's all kind of thrown on the actual model, it all comes, and makes it look really, really good considering I've been trying to like match it up with pictures of equipment.
Nice.
What the colors, and then I change it up a little because there's always like not everything was the same, right? So
Yeah, I mean some gets like weather damage, so the
mhm.
color fades or darkens depending on what happened, or it's from a different fucking oh different
It's okay.
different factory or you know
Yeah,
the whatever it is. There's lots of color variations.
yeah, no, for sure, and almost with any historical, um, miniatures, I kind of do that as well, right? Like I just did up some Napoleonic English British forces there,
Yep.
and
Sweet.
I got the reds and the grays for their pants, but all the pouches and stuff at the back, it's like, okay, there's going to be a little bit of changes here, and maybe the grays I'll play around where I'll make some a little bit lighter than the other, right?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
but no, it's pretty good. It's fun. I've been really enjoying painting World War II minis and now going on to some Napoleonics coming from armor plating from like Space Marines and Titans and
Yeah,
whatnot, right?
into the cloth.
Yeah.
But your color theory, though, all the work you did with colors on Space Marines and
Oh,
whatever else will play to your advantage, really, moving into Napoleonics.
oh, for sure, for sure. It kind of got my own little setup of how I do my colors, and I try to stick with like your darker undertone and then your mid and then your light, and then if I want to go that next step to make it even brighter, I'll do a 50-50 mix with white in the last color I did. But you got to watch out with that because like you'll get pink if you use red,
Ink, pretty easy, yeah.
so an orange might be better, right? So um but yeah, it's overall it's pretty fun, and even just having resources for it.
Hmm.
Like I just messaged you today about that book I got,
That book, yeah,
so that'll be
yeah,
pretty
sweet.
cool. And I did that with the Germans too. Actually, it's the same company that does the publishing for Warlord games, the
Oh yeah,
Osprey
yeah,
Publishing. I got on a couple of their like Men at Arms.
yeah.
You
That's a
know,
good series.
so Germany from 39 to 45. Book 4, the Eastern Front, right?
Sweet.
So it gives you info and pictures and stuff and some colored pictures, which is nice because just you can use that all the time, right? So, and it's the same pictures that they actually use in Warlord books, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'll probably pick up some Napoleon ones like that too. Make a
nice.
collection.
Yeah, they're fun to look at too.
Oh
They're
yeah,
they're they're decent books.
yeah, they
So
are. They're good. They're small, like there's not much to them, but there's enough in them to
yeah,
make it well worth it. So,
yeah.
but
I know. Painting up these partisans,
yep.
you're talking about having your 10 colors or whatever. I was not. It was kind of fun to be a bit free. You know, not often in World War II models am I like reaching for the pink paint.
Yes.
I I will make a lime green color. I I'm putting polka dots on this headscarf. I don't get to do that with a lot of models, so it's kind of fun to I think I had 30 or 40 different paint colors out, just
It's like a
giving them
palate
all.
cleanser.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, and
But
that's the one thing with the World War II stuff is you're playing around with so many earth tones that
oh yeah,
okay, the colors that you've used this for this British army, and now you decided to do a French army. Wow, it's almost the same,
yeah,
right? So
yeah, slightly different shades.
exactly.
Yes, different enough that people will call me out on it, but not so different that it feels very different.
So true. So
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
and then of course, we obviously both of us have kind of did some terrain work and stuff, right? So
yeah,
and
still plugging away.
yeah, and we actually did some terrain work, and I know I punched out some Sarisa Precision, MDF stuff for the tank war event that had just passed not too long ago,
Yeah,
which will be covered in another episode. So, um, but just overall, it was a lot of fun. So, and it was quite successful, which was great.
yeah, it
So,
was super fun. So
yeah.
got a lot of people pumped too for bolt action. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we had a pretty full house for comparatively for our regular meetup
Yeah, we
on
had we had
Wednesday.
12 people, and that was including me, running it. Um, 12 people there, and there was quite a few characters kind of coming around,
Yeah.
checking stuff out. And then there was one player that I was able to rope in, and he took my spot for the last 2 rounds, or the last round, I should say. And yeah, so 13 was pretty fun, pretty cool. And I do know there's other players in the community. There's more that would come out, but circumstances. So
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
but yeah, definitely going to be doing more of that kind of stuff, and try to up the scale of the kind of event. Maybe get some swag going, stuff like that, make it an actual larger thing. So
Yeah, this is a perfect toe in the water kind of
100%.
thing,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, but yeah, terrain kind of goes along with this mission too. So
Yeah, I'm working. I got the table. I'm having airbrush issues right now. So I might switch it up. I don't know. See how angry I get at my airbrush. Get that base table done, and then bridges. I'm printing off 2 bridges
nice.
that I have to do, and then I think I'm pretty good on all the stuff on the village side for this scenario. I might do something here or there, but that will because I'm crazy and decide that extra work is fun. But I think I have it covered. It's the bridges and the table obviously is the most important, but the and those bridges are pretty important for this scenario.
Yeah.
If I get those done, I have everything else ready, and then of course paint my freaking army. But I'm getting there too on that. So
Yeah, and we'll hopefully get a lot of pictures and post them on the page and whatnot in the episode following this kind of thing. So, but for those guys who are not sure what we're actually talking about,
oh yeah, yeah,
we do have a couple other episodes previously about our campaign Stalingrad, and we've done 2 missions and quite fun.
I loved them. I
They're
think
really good. They're really good. They were different and refreshing for playing, bolt action, right? So the first one was the last bridge over the River Dawn,
yep,
and the second one was the Dawn Crossing. Of course, there's rivers that you got to deal with and bridges, which was pretty cool. And Jason had some fancy, well done terrain for it. So that was very pleasing when I stopped in and was amazed at how good it looked, right? So um,
thank you.
and then then like just little extra things where it's like, oh, you have some boats that you gotta use in your army. Okay, well, 3D printed some boats and
Yeah,
bada bing, bada boom. You know what I mean? So
you know, not too much work,
no,
but it made a big difference when playing the game. It felt more legit,
yeah, for sure.
having those boats. We could have just used a marker or a token, and that would have been fine. A poker chip or printed out like on a piece of paper, and that would have been fine. But it's a little bit different when you have the actual model. It makes it feel
Yeah,
a little bit cooler.
and I did notice because I was browsing Sarisa Precision, they actually have those boats there as well, and it
Oh
looks like
yeah.
they actually fit the whole squad.
Oh
So
nice.
that's pretty cool. I might have to order some of those.
Actually,
They're cheap, right? So,
yeah,
but
totally.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool because I'm sure there's other missions that use that kind of stuff. But
Oh yeah.
so we're doing the third mission, the third scenario. Uh, Spartanovka, I believe, is how it's said. I probably butchered it,
Yeah.
but
Probably. I don't. I'm not even gonna try.
So yeah, this
Very
is. Go ahead.
in the very north of Stalingrad there, right on the very outskirts at the factory there.
Yeah. And if you, so page 27 of the book, there's a map, but if you actually go to the back, I believe, where the campaign kind of thing, I think it's maybe 168. You can see like there's an actual map of like the areas that you're fighting over. And it's definitely on the north side there by the factory district in the northern suburbs, I believe.
Yeah, you know what? This book is full of great maps too. By the way, I don't know if we highlighted it. Highlighted it. Me talking good. Good thing this is an audio format.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's well done. And then I've noticed that they've upped their game with that in the books after this one.
Yeah,
The more maps and more detail and stuff, which is pretty cool, right? So
yeah. I know I harp on the books like, oh, they're amazing, but they are. So
yeah, it's actually
deal
page
with.
35 has a actually even better map.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, because it says so right there at the very top. You can see. I'm not even trying to say it.
Oh yeah, yeah, right there. That's pretty
Uh,
cool.
right
Yeah,
there, so you get an idea
Spartanovka. Yeah,
of what they're talking about. And in this scenario, they talk about the I'm not even saying it, river and the Volga River. You know,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Machetica River. Oh my God, that's where all the bridges are going across. And the one flank is entirely made up of the Volga River, so it's
It's
completely
literally right
blocked.
on the edge.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that'd be cool.
so so that's kind of a
We
fun little detail. Fun to see it on the zoomed out map.
yeah, we both have train tracks, so that's pretty cool too. So the one side by the river
Yeah.
has the train tracks. But it's pretty neat because it's the deployment is slightly diagonal, and you know your edge of your deployment's actually probably pretty close to each other, probably like 12 inches.
Well, actually, the deployment follows the river, so you have to be, I believe, it's at least 6 inches away from the river, and that's what that line's following.
Oh yes, yes, yeah,
So really, that's your deployment zone. Is whatever shape you end up having for your river. It should be roughly straight, but your guys have to be 6 inches away
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's right.
from the
Huh.
river that goes roughly in the middle of the board. You
Yeah,
know,
so it's pretty much like a neutral zone, really.
yeah,
So
yeah, and that's the whole shabazz. That's the shtick is that you're trying to get across the river, and I'm trying to push you back across the river. So
and it's the German force is could be pretty mobile if you want it to be. That's the kind of whole plan with this is to give her and get across and take some territory and hold the territory to the end of the game, kind of thing.
yeah,
Where is that? So the Germans, actually both sides. So this is actually a larger point game than we're used to.
yeah, 1,500 points
Yeah,
really jumps it up.
yeah.
So
So it definitely does, and it definitely allows you. I think they did that for that specific reason is transports and for at least for the German side.
mhm.
Um, but as for the Soviet side, because you have the
The
tractor
Soviets,
factory theater selector,
yeah. So I get
you're gonna have a lot of bodies, aren't you?
a lot of bodies, a lot of terrible at fighting bodies. But I also, as part of the scenario, get 24 inches worth of trench works.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
and I can start the battle dug in, which we've discovered makes it very difficult until you get up close and personal.
Yep.
So what it really does is it forces the German player to move. If you try to sit back and shoot at me, hoping to move in at the last turn, you're just gonna lose. You just can't win that way.
Yeah, your
Not
numbers are
not
pretty
with me
high.
dug in. Yeah, not with me dug in. If I'm dug in and you're shooting at me, I count as down, even if doing other things other than moving.
Yep. And
So
and
you're
it's
shooting at
cumulative,
me.
isn't it? Like when you go down and you have dug
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
So I mean, you're shooting at me probably on sevens if you're staying at the others.
Hmm.
Every time you're shooting at me at sevens, good luck. So that's what I mean. It really forces you to move towards me, and my guys are terrible, so you're going to want to do that.
No, for
But
sure.
I do have a lot of guns.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the list right now, and it's fairly different. I mean, you're getting 2 artillery guns, right?
Yeah.
And 2 vehicles from the tractor factory, T-34.
Oh, sorry, you misread that, sir. You get two choices of vehicles, and you're free instead of receiving a 12-man squad
Yeah,
of infantry. You can receive another T-34 factory tank.
yeah. I was getting the makeshift defense force, right?
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
just roll them out. The fun part about those tanks, though, is that they come with a built-in defect.
Mhm.
You get to choose before the battle, and there's three of them. I forget the names off the top of my head, but one of them is faulty optics, so my range for my main gun is cut in half. One of them is like factory worker operators, whatever they called that, and essentially I take pins from everything if I remember correctly,
Oh, probably.
and
Yeah, I can't remember the
and
specific.
one of them is that, and the third one is that I think it's even on a superficial hit, it counts as a penetrating hit. So it's that one. I am not taking that one on any vehicles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be
So you also have the option of 2 free inexperienced 37mm AA guns.
which I was looking at, and I would 100% do. I think if I had the models.
Yeah, that's a lot of
I don't.
firepower.
They don't even make them.
Oh,
Warlord
really?
doesn't even make them.
Oh,
No.
I
So I'd
think
have to
that's one thing they need to kind of
catch up on.
tackle. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's gaming companies do that all the time. So
Yeah.
it's
I'd rather them put the option out
yeah,
and not have a model than to not have the option and not have the model. But at the same time, in this scenario, it's not really an option for me. I don't know where to get it. So
fair
I'm just
enough.
going with the third tank. But yeah, those two, I think it count basically as a autocannon, which would have been pretty nice. But
Yeah, some probably make some short work of some light vehicles and stuff.
yeah, transport vehicles would be feeling the ouch.
So it's definitely an interesting list. I mean, you also do get a Frontenac Commissar
Yeah,
when you
which will help
can.
my inexperienced troops fire at without that penalty
Yeah,
for being inexperienced, which is a big deal.
yeah,
So it's really helped me in the past. I really like that commissar for that. It takes away half of the negative of of having inexperienced troops.
yeah.
So and really because Soviets get to re-roll a failed morale check anyway, that also negates part of the hazards of having inexperienced troops. So so it really makes that kind of list more viable.
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to have enough, enough forces to actually fight off the amount of forces that you have. But it's going to be, I think, fast and ugly real quick, though.
I think so. Yeah, you do bring a lot of firepower. You have a lot less guys. Yeah, I'm assuming we'll have a lot less guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think I'll have over 50. I'll have about 60.
Yeah, yeah. So here, let me pull it up here. So my list actually has 4 infantry squads, which are all in the transports, plus 2 medium machine gun teams. So, I mean, tons of machine guns, right?
Yeah, with 2 in each squad, two light machine guns in each squad
Yeah.
as well.
And then the Pioneer
Hanomeg.
squad. The Hanomegs have the LMGs as well, or the MMGs. MMGs?
I think they're LMGs, but you might be able to upgrade to MMG. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'd have to look here. But yeah, the Pioneer squad will have a light machine gun and a flamethrower within it as well, which is
Mhm.
a classic combo for squads like that. Engineer squads. It's a
Yeah.
pretty powerful combo. What else we got here?
Which will really make short work of my dug-in
Yeah.
troops.
So yeah, the Hanamegs, yeah, flamethrower for sure. So I'm sure it'll be one of the units targeted first.
Oh man, everything in my army is just that poor flamethrower guy.
So
He's going to
he'll
be
get
filled with bullet holes one way or another.
he'll get roasted.
Yeah.
And
Oh jeez.
then the Panzer IV.
Yeah.
So
With a howitzer on it.
yep.
So that'll help to clear out infantry. And you said you had 2 tanks, right?
Yeah, I got 2 tanks.
Oh, your Stug. Your Stug with a howitzer. Right? You got one of those early versions.
Yeah, I have a light. It's a light anti-tank, or not light anti-tank, light howitzer on it.
Okay.
So
you'll be able to put out quite a bit of templates actually, and a lot of machine guns.
yeah, there'll be pretty decent amount of firepower.
And I'll be able to put out quite a bit of anti-tank fire. All terrible though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. It would be pretty neat to see how it actually all works out, just due to the fact that these aren't normal armies that we usually, actually run, right? So
No, so it'll be nice. It'll be nice to see, and because I score point, we both score points the same way by getting troops. For every unit on the opposite side of the river, we get a point, and for every unit destroyed, we get a point.
yeah,
So it will kind of, I should hunker down, but I'll be thinking constantly about if there's an opportunity to exploit a break or a weakness, I'm going to be trying to push for it, which I like. If it was just a standard scenario where it was, just for kill points, I would obviously just hide out in my bunker near my
No, that's true.
trenches.
That's true. I mean, you
But
know,
if I can get a squad over and get an extra point and here or there, plus hopefully kill some guys that or even just make you step back a minute, to try to stop whatever
well,
that.
that's the whole thing too, right? Like maybe one of my vehicles gets knocked out on the bridge, right?
Yeah,
And now
yeah,
what? Now it just slows me down, and who knows? Like it's again, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because you literally have the three avenues of crossing over, and you
that's
know
it. The rest is impassable.
you either do you either um, do you split your units up in order to cover all three to try to get over with the risk of not having enough support,
Mhm.
right? Because like I can thin my forces out pretty quick by doing that, right?
Yeah,
Um, there's other options, you got to think of too. Like, do I push with the main tanks first to use them as cover and to push to bully their way through pretty much,
yeah,
right? Like taking the chance that okay, your crews probably aren't going to be that great in the tanks and stuff, or you know, um, inexperienced this and that. Um, so we have to worry about if they're going to take out my tanks on the bridge, then I'm a little hooped in that matter. I might have to double back or try to push through if I'm able to. Um, might have to disembark and just shuffle the infantry through, right? Who knows how much space there really will be. But or do I just decide, well, it's a road, I'm going to just zip right up, get out, try to get some cover. So yeah, it's a lot of options to think about and tactics to kind of think about now that I'm actually talking about it.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. There's
So,
no easy answers. That's what I'm liking so far about the scenarios.
oh yes. Yeah, it's they're fun. Ultimately, like as we start going through these other ones, I mean, I did look and there was like a Romanian force in the back here too, so I'm assuming they're in some of these scenarios as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I may have to find some minis for that.
Nice.
Might have to talk to my friend about maybe even 3D printing some stuff. Resin
Yes.
printing, that is.
I
But
believe actually there was an article on a website this week or last week about
oh,
making Romanians using kit bashing several kits.
no, that's interesting. I
So
missed that one.
that's timely.
Hmm, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of things to think about for sure in this one. There is prep bombardment as well, so that is definitely going to take a big effect in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. That's
Um,
Germans launching it at me. That kind of evens it up a little bit.
yeah,
If you get lucky, and I have to keep my head down for a turn,
true.
you know. And there's a lot of units, so this is a big game. So your odds of getting a hit on a vehicle or something are significantly increased. So knocking out a tank is a pretty decent option.
Yeah, no doubt, no
You
doubt.
know,
And then, I mean, the game duration is like 6 turns. So, I mean, that's actually a fair bit of turns to go, and then um, you can play an additional turn on a roll, of course.
hmm
So could get pretty dicey. Because by
That's pretty
sixth
much.
turn,
Oh, sorry, I keep cutting you off there.
no, it's all good.
Yep.
I was just gonna say by sixth turn, if my forces are not over the bridges because they're being tied up, then it's kind of like, okay, what did I do wrong, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. What I figure is going to happen is that we're both going to be decimated, and one of us will have gotten randomly a guy or two, uh, almost dead squad on the other side, hiding behind something, and like a officer, and
yep.
that's pretty much going to be it.
Well, the last two scenarios, they got really definitely bloody.
Yeah,
So the last
they're
one
brutal.
where I had to cross the river with the boats, there was a lot of mishaps and um, furious engagements on both flanks. I know one flank I kind of swept in, and then the other flank failed to get off the bank and just got crushed.
Yeah,
So
that was rough.
so I don't know how my forces got to this point because Jason beat me in the last two missions. He got to the
Yeah,
bridge
yeah.
on the first one and blew it up. So
To be fair, we're talking about a platoon to a company size
mhm.
out of army groups. So our our engagement in the grand scheme of things doesn't count for a whole lot. Yeah.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We'll get that set up here in probably in a few weeks' time. Give us some time to get stuff prepped and ready as we're
Yeah,
working on
yeah.
stuff.
This one, I think more than most, we have a lot of prep.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
for
moving
sure.
forward, we should be able to pop in to some of these other scenarios a lot faster because they use forces we already have, and especially now with us painting up a storm as well
Yep.
for this, we already have the terrain based, for the next couple of scenarios in the bag. So,
Yeah,
that'll be
a lot of
nice.
them use the same kind of terrain, similar terrain, and then
Yeah. So once
a
we
lot of
get this,
hills.
well, yeah, they're important.
Yeah, which is pretty
Apparently.
neat. Pretty neat for
Yeah.
terrain because we don't, except for maybe just recently at the shop there when you made that big hilltop.
Oh yeah.
But we haven't really played too much with different level kind of terrain, right? Like
No,
rolling hills and stuff.
even at my uh, on my game table, I have hills and I try to keep them. I like the undulating ground,
Yeah.
but I don't usually play with a big beefy hill. But I mean that's obviously an important thing to fight over. That's
Hmm.
so I think that's something I have to amend in my terrain collection. But first, it's bridges and cities.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Later on, it gets to the gritty city, Stalingrad tractor factory, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah,
which I do have a big tractor factory set, so
nice
that should be assembled and stuff this year. It's one of the things on my list to
projects.
get done. So, just got a lot, right? A lot of minis still in boxes to work on, and then just to get them out of the boxes and on my displays or on the battlefield, pretty much mainly.
Yeah.
And then
I will say that these scenarios have motivated me to get moving on stuff though.
oh,
AKA I wouldn't be printing 3 or 2 bridges so that I have 3 right now for my terrain collection. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't I I wouldn't have had a be building a city fight table. You know, I probably wouldn't be painting 36 people's militia.
Yeah, no,
So
100%. It's true.
yeah, it's definitely motivating me to get on my butt and paint.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of that, like, don't forget too that, yes, we are working on this kind of stuff, but we also do have, other projects on the go for Warlord games, Bolt Action, all that stuff too, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
um, you know, we were talking off air there about just possibly some futuristic, um, not futuristic, but future armies or forces, and one thing came up was we don't really see too many, African desert kind of forces being played, really.
Yeah, not at our game
No, it's
area.
it's it's mainly Americans.
Yeah, really. You know, it was Russians and
Yeah,
Germans. And then it kind of switched to British, like Canadians.
yeah,
And then now it really is just like American, American, American. And I am guilty of having an American army also. But
yeah.
also I have a Soviet and British and Canadian army too. So I guess I fit all the categories. But
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 it's
yeah, I I can't think. You know, there we did have one guy that played British Eighth Army, but he hasn't been able to come out in a while.
yeah, no, it's actually been a long while, but
Yeah.
yeah, there was and then one of the other gentlemen had the Western Germans as well, the Western Desert there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But that was it. There was never really a big,
No,
which is funny because that's always one of the armies I had in my head when I first started playing. Was
yes,
I wanted to do Africa Corps and Eighth Army.
Desert Rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 and
So
I ended up getting both of those myself. I know I started pre-assembling
oh,
the
duh. Dustin has an LRDG
yeah, the
army.
long range. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a sweet
Well, that was
desert army.
one of the first armies that I went up against for against Dusty, right? Which
That
was,
is it.
was pretty cool because it's a very specific army. Actually, you don't really see it off. Not too many people play it, and he's played it and he plays it well. So you know,
It's tough. There's
yeah,
a lot of machine guns in that army.
yeah, and very very fast. So
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. But
but yeah, we certainly don't see the nobody's the group overall hasn't clamored to that
no,
theater.
I
I'm
would like to.
curious. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I'm curious what the makeup of other groups in other areas are like if they're what the percentage of you know desert theater or even Pacific theater because that's another one
Oh
that's
yeah,
really underrepresented. You know, there's a few people that have Japanese armies, and a few guys have Marine armies. Dustin again, uh,
I have all
but
these armies. You realize that,
yeah, y-
eh?
you don't play them
Yeah,
so often though.
that's the thing though. Is it's just it's I have them all. It's just a matter of getting them all assembled for sure. But it's true, exactly what you're saying. You know, it's it would be interesting to see what other gaming groups have for like a majority of their forces, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm curious.
and I
Yeah,
think that's what kind of attracted me to like playing the French. You know,
that
um,
nobody has them.
nobody, yeah, exactly. And being able to feel them and whatnot, which is pretty cool. And then
Yeah, but then you got to
Hungarians.
get harassed.
Yeah, yeah, I do get harassed a little bit sometimes, but I usually give a good fight. So
Yeah, so the French aren't a bad army. That's the funny thing.
yeah,
They're pretty decent, especially in early war conflicts.
yeah, for sure.
They don't do too badly.
Yeah,
But
and
it's
that's
a
what we're
matter of getting the even the even fight is the challenge.
true, true, and that brings up another point. That's kind of what we're trying that out at the local shop too. Is setting up weekly kind of different eras of, of of armies to play. Right, a lot of times we were just kind
Hmm.
of dropping in with whatever armies we brought and we'd face off kind of things. So it'd be nice to get some of those smaller tanks in there and autocannons and stuff like that, right? Your
Yeah,
early war equipment, the funny stuff sometimes, you know.
yeah, totally. And most people have multiple armies. It's not that crazy to say this week is early war. If you got early war, we're trying to set up as many early war fights as we can,
Yeah,
and most people will be able to comply. Especially the infantry. The only thing that changes is some of your equipment options sometimes,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's fairly easy to accommodate. So really, even if you think maybe you don't have an early war army, that's not specifically what you set it up for. You could probably make it work, and the other guys should forgive that. Well, actually, that poncho's from 1944. Uh, maybe they'll forgive you for that. If you give them a fun early war game with your late war Germans, you just don't take some of your, some of the equipment, you change the equipment up a little bit. So it's going to be mostly rifles, instead of throwing in
The
assault
assault
rifles,
rifles. Yeah, yeah.
and some of your tank options are different.
It's
You know,
it's neat to do and like
yeah,
like how you did it last time actually at the shop there where um it's nice that you're able to come down and set up things pre everybody come in and then you had some decent missions picked out from the scenario books, so
I got a plan for this week too.
nice. So yeah, it's nice to change up because ultimately in bolt action like there is a gazillion missions just in all these books. And granted, you know what, like the mission is specifically for this campaign book with specifically with these forces. But if you go over the mission and you change some of the parameters to fit, that gaming night, then you'll have no problem, right? It works out most of the time, and it's just fun and different,
Yeah,
you know.
you know, as long as you're open to the fact that maybe this scenario won't work out.
Yeah,
It's not the Olympics. You will be okay if you get beaten. If there was an unforeseen circumstance that got in the way, but like even this scenario, you play with equal forces. The objectives are similar they're actually the exact same for both sides. The fact that the one side, the defender, I guess you would call them in if you weren't doing German Soviets, the defender gets trenches, but the attacker gets prep bombardment. So that kind of evens out.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad right here. The one we happen to be talking about can be made fairly easily with a little bit of finagling
Oh,
to
100%.
fit any situation, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, there's probably 1,000 times where a factory like or industrial area was attacked across a river, and it really doesn't even have to be that. It's just a river with 3 bridges.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
is your, you know.
Yeah, with enough
So
terrain, you can create some pretty cool, scenery and scenarios and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
and then it allows us to try out these scenarios, which in turn, down the road, when it comes to events, you can have an idea of some different missions and scenarios that would bring a little bit of spice to the gaming, right?
yeah,
Because unlike ourselves, like not everybody obviously doesn't have all the campaign books. You know, um, people are pretty much into what they're into for the games. If it's just games that they're playing, pickup games, or maybe they are those history buffs that want to play the scenario books, right? Stuff like that. We've seen a lot of that. So, and you see a lot of that in the communities, and on all the other
yeah.
pages too. So, props to everybody who's trying that stuff out and making custom terrain and just having, a lot of fun doing it and playing it. It's awesome to see in this time and age kind of thing. And we all know that bolt action, especially here, bolt action is definitely taken a flight. A lot of people are into it. Some come and go, but there's always a lot of new guys kind of jumping in and getting involved, and
Hmm.
no, it's awesome. And if you can bring these scenarios to the table and have a good time with new and old players, all the better, right? So,
Totally.
and then of course all the new stuff that they keep coming out with, and new books, and combined forces and all that stuff that they're going to be coming out with here shortly, actually, because it's on pre-order. Um, I think it's just going to make things a lot better and a lot more entertaining. Because I know, with all the games that I'm playing and I'm into, ultimately, like, I don't know, the historical games I'm having a lot of fun with. So,
Yeah. No, I'm hook, line, and sinker apparently, but that's always been my shtick anyway. Even when I was playing 40K and other games like that, I would make armies that were
oh
you know
yes,
in that universe, but were quasi based off of our history. You know what I
I
mean?
remember a certain Praetorian Guard.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And even the fantasy based army was Empire, so
Yeah,
that's kind of my shtick.
yeah, for sure, for sure. They look great. Like armies all painted up and stuff, and that's what it's about too, right? It's build it, paint it, play it kind of idea, that our motto that we always tend to use. So, and it's great because a lot of new players are like jumping all over that. Like we have one new player that just got into the game and like 2 weeks in, half the army is painted already. It's like, oh,
I
so.
know. Oh my god, I was so mad. Too fast. Slow down. You're making me look bad.
But all in all, it's all good fun, and we keep having fun doing it. So, but and hopefully you guys are too, and hopefully you're enjoying these episodes. going forward. Obviously, we'll have more. I think I'm going to probably stir up some tactic talks and stuff as well. Just got to plan some episodes for that kind of thing. Maybe get some other parties involved and have a multi-party podcast.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous.
So yeah, and I talked with our one friend Cam there about possibly going over the Chinese army in one of the campaign books.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's I think he's the only guy that has really played that. So I'll definitely touch base with him and get that plan and going. And it's just stuff like that, right? Some of these other armies that need to be showcased as well. So
Excellent.
but again, yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and hope you guys liked this episode. And obviously go check out our other ones if you're interested. We're all over the place with different games, so choose your fancy. So again, thanks Jason for jumping on again here with us.
No problem.
So it's always a fun time hashing out tabletop talk. So
The deets on our scenario here.
oh yes. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. Lots of pictures and some highlighted critical moments, I bet. So
Oh, jeez. Nail biting moments where my tanks explode. Oh no.
right on. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.
Doodles.
Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it.